ladies and gentlemen, Professor here with us, please. Please, ladies and gentlemen, can you put your hands together for me? So yes, I wasn't expecting that because I have to Google that and my family, the other yet witnesses. Ladies and gentlemen, please can you put your hands together for him? Thank you very much, sir, for honoring our invitation.
Yes, we can hear you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, Prof is talking to us virtually, please. So we are able to pay attention. Thank you.
with both human and mineral resources. It has a population of over 290 million, majority of which are young, talented Nigerians. Equally, the country sits on over 37 billion barrels of crude oil, over 200 billion cubic feet of natural gas, and some of the highest solar irradiance on the planet. Yet, we face a paradox, that is, when our energy sector evolves at breakneck speed, our talent pipeline moves at the speed of a 1970 syllabus. Today, our batteries need process engineers who understand modular units and clear gas in the room. Our gas plants need technicians for safety in-country refining, petrochemicals, and emission control. That means chemical, mechanical, and environmental engineers trained on FCC units and computers. Not just Austin, demands R&D focused curriculum. We cannot have curriculum that is theoretical based. It should be practically based. The mix is evolving from oil only to oil, plus gas, plus solar, plus biomass and efficiency. Our curriculum must evolve faster. The gaps. To address this gap, I have coined 3 broken links. That is, where are we failing short today? 1. Content lack. Many petroleum engineering courses still focus on 80% upstream exploration. Very little on refining units like FCC hydrotreating or energy transition topics like hydrogen blending and carbon capture utilization and storage. Students graduate with knowledge, with knowing characteristics and stimulation, but can't troubleshoot a distillation volume. Link number 2, scale disconnect. Industry now runs pilot plants. An example of which is La Louisiana State University PERT style testing facility, a modular unit. But most labs on campus today are bench scale. A student can draw a process flow diagram, but has never turned a valve or a 32-feet distillation valve. Children in class, surprise in job is very expensive. Link number 3, industry disconnect. Our curricula are designed in silos. Many universities have industry representatives that sit on advisory boards, and these representatives rarely co-teach, co-design, or fund live projects. Section NPC and solar stock and startups spend millions retraining graduates for 6 months. What is the solution? We need to restructure for relevance. So, how do we restructure? Not by throwing away the old curriculum, but by adding pillars. Pillar 1, mixed-focused curriculum, not single-grade curriculum. Energy programs need core courses and pathways more. Core courses is for all. That is courses like thermodynamics, process safety, energy economics, data analysis, management,
Bluetooth connected.
renewables and solar storage, energy efficiency. Each pathway has should have 4 to 5 specialized courses tied to the direct needs. For example, the refining pathway should include FCC catalyst identification. That is one of the areas our ABUK TDF chair is pioneering in ABU Zaria. A renewable energy pathway should include battery management system, not just PV panel theory. Pillar number 2, pilot scale and hands-on learning. We must move from chalk and talk to verbs on boards. Those universities that don't have such pilot plans can partner with Petroleum Training Institute, ABU Zaria. Internationally, we also have a university that equally has such pilot plans, like Rajiv Gandhi Institute of Petroleum Technology. This particular facilities give students time on pilot refineries and methanol diesel blending rigs. We will also replicate in our universities the Louisiana State University model, where industry funds campus-based activities where students run real equipment. Revenue from testing cycles back into maintenance of the facilities. We should equally make every final year student project industry sponsored. If Dangote, for example, if Dangote refinery needs a flare gas recovery study, let's final year students of Bayero University Zaria, Bayero University, it was part of ABU Zaria, so no apology for that. Let's final year students of BUK solve it under supervision of the staff. I know Chemical and Petroleum Engineering Department, BUK, have competent hands that can supervise such projects. Pillar number 3, industry co-education. That is, we have to restructure governance, not only costs. We should have 50-50 advisory board. Each departmental board must have 50% industry practitioners with high power. We should also try to introduce adjunct engineers. That is, requiring 20% of teaching hours to come from practicing engineers. A Chevron process engineer teaching troubleshooting distinction protocol is worth more than 3 credits. That is, a practicing engineer. Universities grant academic credit for this. Startable, recognized, and employable approach. Number 5, call to action. Who must move? This is how I coin it. This restructuring cannot be a university problem alone. To vice chancellors and deans, audit your syllabus today. Every course to Nigeria's 2030 energy mix. If more than 90% of the cost is non-liquid gas, renewable or refining, it must be revised. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, and please fund one IOC facility purpose. ABU proved it is possible with local application. To industry, stop complaining and start coordinating. Fund one lab, one adjunct lecturer, one student cohort per year. Louisiana State University Lab exists because Halliburton and ExxonMobil invested. Your next workforce industry, please, is sitting in this hall. To policy makers and PTDF, tie funding to outcomes, not only enrollment. PTDF scholarship should prioritize students in niche pathways and universities with industry-linked grants. The decade of gas needs a decade of time. To my students, your degree is not a certificate, it is a toolkit. Demand energy from refineries, not to keep young students doing his IT in want to share with you, those Dangote has employs not less than 90 degree graduates. About 30 to 40 are from chemical engineering department. And those who graduated and passed the course, the refining course in Ahmadu Bello University Zaria refinery, when they were sent to India for training by Dangote, they were told when these students were getting issues, they were in the refinery because they say, no, our university has a pilot scale refinery. So they had an edge. So ladies and gentlemen, in closing, colleagues, Nigeria needs transition not to be won in oil fields alone. It should be won in lecture halls, labs, and pilot plants. Hello? Am I with you? Yes, sir. Okay. If we restructure now, we create a election of engineers who can run our ordinary finance on Monday, design solar meeting on Tuesday, and advise policy on Wednesday. If we will keep importing technology and exporting talent. The talent gap is not destiny, it is a design problem. And design problems are solved by engineers. The same engineers we train today. Let us bridge this gap. Not in 10 years, starting with the next curriculum review, because energy future is already here. The question is, will our graduates be ready to power it? This is the question I will leave the audience and the participants to find answers. Thank you, and God bless you. I appreciate you. In case there are some questions, clarification, I'm ready to take it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Science I don't know if there's anybody who wants to ask a question. So if there is, we'll give the mic to the person so that they ask a question. Thank you very much. So please, do we have anybody who wants to ask any question? Or if we don't, maybe we'll type it and then we'll send it to him. If he sends the answer, we'll share it with him. So we'll send any question with yes. So when you answer, we'll share it before the end of the lecture. Thank you very much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, please a round of applause for Professor for that very wonderful one. Alright, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Honestly, I think engineering students to add more money for me because the tax, I'm already multitasking. So, the next on my agenda is also a virtual one. So, are we ready? Is the speaker ready? Alright, ladies and gentlemen, our next speaker is Engineer Mukhtar Yusuf. Am I correct? He's going to speak on Nigeria's energy transition roadmap. Usman, is that correct? Alright, Nigeria's energy transition roadmap, technical challenges and opportunities in integrating renewable energy into national grid, by Engineer Mukhtar Yusuf, PC&M Team Lead at Mainstream Energy Solutions. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Engineer as we get him on line virtually. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, sorry, before we connect to engineer, I want to recognize the presence of Engineer Ibrahim Kado Muhammad. I hope I pronounce that well. Please, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for him. Thank you very much, sir. He is a senior reservoir engineer from. Is this Goviku? Sir. Okay, Jubiku Energy Resources. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for engineer. Thank you very much for the invitation. Also, ladies and gentlemen, please join with a round of applause to welcome Engineer Victor Yu Anao. Thank you very much, sir, for honoring our invitation. Ladies and gentlemen, we are very sorry. We are trying to leverage on the technology that we have these days. So doing our virtual, and then so disheartening that we are Nigerians and we are in Nigeria. Our network is not really strong. We are using network from South Africa. That is why we are facing a lot of issues. So I'm glad this is an engineering conference. I hope that by 2027 or 2028, engineers in Nigeria will be able to provide for us our own network. Nobody is saying anything. Our students are not saying anything. We cannot provide network for us. Why are you saying? So you agree to the fact that we should continue using the South African network? It's messing us up, honestly. And I'm sure he's using MTN. You're using MTN, right? It's MTN. Well, you can imagine that in an energy conference, we came in, there was no light. This is Nigeria. So I guess we cannot get him yet. So while we are trying to connect to him, should we take another session? Alright. So ladies and gentlemen, I actually skipped this agenda because engineer was not here earlier. So he's here with us, ladies and gentlemen, and we are going to go back to his presentation. So ladies and gentlemen, please, our next presentation is Stimulate Your Digital Professional Identity, Mastering LinkedIn for Energy Career Success by Engineer Victor Yu Anao. Ladies and gentlemen, please, open our hands together for Engineer. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this is it. I need to tell you the etiquette of clapping is that the person I call upon until the person says thank you before you stop clapping. So ladies and gentlemen, can we continue?
Thank you very much. Thank you everyone. Alright, good morning everybody. I appreciate everyone here. You are all welcome, and I want to say a big thank you again to this forum that has put this together. There is a lot of things that is going on currently that you know that they are foreseen. While you are in school currently, your people are foreseen a lot of things, and they are trying to ensure that you are better prepared out there for the real activities. Alright, I'll be speaking briefly, very briefly, on the digital professional identity. The digital professional identity. Before I proceed, I think I'll ask this question. I'll say, do you understand nowadays that social media is your new CV? It's think someone wrote a book like that, Social Media, Your New CV. That is what people use nowadays to actually know more about you. Your CV tells people about, about you. But nowadays, what does people about the social media? So today we'll be understanding how we can use LinkedIn to structure ourselves in a very professional manner. That I'm sure if you actually follow these steps, I'm telling you, when you are in school here, before you round off the school, you might be getting, there are high chances that you might be getting some calls from bigger organizations for you to maybe work with them and some other stuff. Please let's proceed. So now, if you're a recruiter from Shell, or Schlumberger, or NNPC, Google your name now, what will they find? Have you thought about this before? Have you even Googled your own name before? Maybe you can try it now. Quickly Google your name, so that you see what you find about yourself. Is it just your post on Facebook that will show, or they'll show you on Instagram, maybe dancing or something? So imagine that many of these people too will Google your name. There was a time I Googled my name, and I was very happy because one of my documents that I wrote that was published was the one that was showing when you Google my name. It showed seriousness, it showed pictures of me doing my work. So if they Google your name now, what will they find? Let's go to the next station. Now, what they'll find is what you will be seeing there when you Google your own name. And now in the hidden job market, you know that there are 70% jobs, 70% that are not advertised currently in the market. Many of these jobs are internal. Sometimes they just want a direct person. They go out there and they get someone. Sometimes again, they look at the profiles of some people. We just need somebody to fit in this particular role, and they don't want to go through the stress and hassles of recruitment. I've gone through some recruitment processes, and I'm telling you, it's very hectic when you want to select some people to work with you. So sometimes you just want to look at the right candidate and go and pick that person. So how can you be that right candidate? And you can see that 87% of recruiters, they use LinkedIn, and you are 3 times more likely to be hired if you have a very strong profile. Let's know that your degree opens doors. Your digital identity keeps them open. Please, I'm of the opinion and notion that school is not a scam. Okay? Don't listen to what many people out there say online. Okay? Your degree opens doors, that's good. But your character keeps you in that job. And also, your digital identity keeps those doors open for you. Alright. Now, do you know that you already have a digital identity? If you have searched yourself now, you have seen yourself, right? I think you have seen yourself already via Google. You already have a digital identity. So, but then the question is what? What shows up when you search? Is there anybody that searched here that you see his name or see anything about himself online? Is there? None, right? That means we all know something about ourselves. Am I mistaken? Alright, thank you very much. So that means you already have an identity. So, but then, who built that identity? Did you structure that identity yourself? Did you arrange it by yourself? Okay? Or is it just what you are posting? You are fully in control. You can actually structure it so that you show what it needs you to show. Alright. Now, in your LinkedIn is your professional showcase to the world. LinkedIn is your professional showcase to the world, where they see things that are professional about you. There are etiquettes to posting on LinkedIn. You don't go ahead and post anything on LinkedIn. Do you understand? So there are things you should post. Okay? Not videos of yourself dancing, but it's a professional part of your life that you should post. You see, social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, when people want to know more about you, they want to know more about your person, your personality. What they do is they search Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And then, what do your colleagues and mentors say? People commented about you. people commented about it. So now when you see your LinkedIn, I think there was a short something I watched online. And this lady was applying for a job. It's a foreign lady. And in her post in LinkedIn, she posted, these half-naked stylish pictures, those type that they show on Instagram. And the recruiter was asking her, don't you understand what LinkedIn is? Why we are becoming energy efficient? So I wanted to tailor this to us so that we will know why we need to do this.
I think this is better. Thank you very much. Okay. I think this is better. Thank you very much. Okay. So this is what relates with you. This is why you should be on LinkedIn. LinkedIn, I believe all of us have a LinkedIn profile. I think the last time I was here, I discussed a little about LinkedIn going online. I believe some of us might have taken maybe good notes of that and put in some effort to this. Today we'll be understanding what makes our LinkedIn profile powerful. Let's go to the next slide. This is what makes your LinkedIn profile powerful. You can see the first is the profile photo. What kind of photos do you upload on your LinkedIn profile? A professional post photo, a headshot, something that shows you as a very serious somebody. That is the kind of photo you should upload on your LinkedIn profile. And then your headline. We understand what headline is, right? When somebody searches you, what do they see? Do they see students at BU? I've searched the LinkedIn profile, and that's what I see. Students at this, some very simple. They don't talk anything about it, but then what can you do? Instead of saying students, what would you say? Petroleum engineering students. You put this straight slash, and then energy enthusiasts seeking opportunities. With this, you are more playing, you are becoming more open to opportunities. At least people know what they need to see about you. Then you go to your about and summary, 3 to 5 sentences, just talk simple things about your skills, your story, and your goals. You might not have so much skills now. Focus on your story, focus on your goals, focus on your interests. Professionally, please, professionally, don't talk about many other things about food, except food is your interest. So, but then, professionally, relating to your energy profile, that is what you should talk about. Then your experience is another part that is very much important in LinkedIn. Your internships, your projects, your volunteer work, all the things you have done, everything counts. Everything counts. You might think you don't have experience, but I want to tell you that you have a lot of experience. In your school here now, like my friend Usman, I'm sure he can put a lot of things in his profile as a leader of the NIE and all those stuff. So with that, he has boosted his profile as somebody that is a leader. You understand? So you too think about what you have done so far while you have been in school. I believe almost all of us here, or all of us have done something wonderful while we are in school. You have done the perfect project that some of our professors have given to us, right? Some of these projects now, do you know that you can write your experience on it? It was wonderful working on this energy assignment. It made me understand that energy is something that we need to think about. It's something that can really power a lot of things. It's something that can move the world places. If only we think on how to apply it professionally. And this assignment has opened my eyes to a lot of understanding on this. With that, that's an experience, that's the post you have made. Do you understand? So it's something you should take very, very serious. Then post about your skills and your endorsements. Ask people to endorse you. You understand? Ask people to endorse you. Request for it. And then post about the skills you have learned as well. Your skills is not only your hard skills. You know, we have hard skills and we have soft skills. There's the technical skills and then the soft skills. And all of them matter. Let me tell you the truth. All of them matter. So you need all these skills. Post about it. Or it was wonderful leading this group. It was wonderful leading my group on a certain project. I believe you have done good works as well. You were a group leader. With that experience, you will talk about how you led your group. You coordinated your team properly and made them to do a lot. So that's another thing you can be talking about on LinkedIn. And then post about your education as well. Like I mentioned already, your final year projects, your awards, your relevant coursework, your assignments, these are things you should be talking about. You shouldn't be silent about these things. You shouldn't be silent about these things. I want to actually let you know that you might have the best opportunities. The best opportunities don't go to who knows a lot or who is the most skillful, the most intelligent. The best opportunities goes to those that are very much visible. People that put themselves out there in the market, people that show what they can do. They will do just one small thing. The way they are going to maximize it is going to be really huge. Imagine you change the world. I think I saw this one time online. And this guy was like, I don't have any experience and I want to work in an energy company. You know, say the only thing he has done is to change the light bulb. And then he asked, how do I write that I have changed the light bulb and this is my experience? And then somebody responded with a very wonderful response. I can't even remember, but it was a very, very professional one. You understand? Where they change a lot of things. And you will not, once you just read that sentence, they'll give you the guy the job. You understand? So there's something we should do. Alright. Now this is the formula for writing your headline. You know your headline on LinkedIn. Most students will write student at Bayero University. But then, when you want to get noticed, what should you do? You can write this, like I mentioned, petroleum engineering students at BUK/ renewable energy enthusiasts open to internship. You understand? And then look at this formula is out there. That's for example, your role, your industry, your value, and goal. Okay? We're still open to internship because now we believe that you don't really have much experiences. So when you have experiences and you know you're looking for larger ways to scale, you change that pattern and then to something more catchy. So this is just one way to look at it. And then what does your headline look like now? Yeah, if you're on LinkedIn, search it. What does your headline look like now? What did you write? How many of us wrote student at BUK? It's not something to be shy about. We're here. Student at BUK. Our people don't have LinkedIn profile. We do, right? I like to be interactive, please. Can you just respond? We do have LinkedIn profile. Awesome. Okay. So student at BUK, or somebody wrote something else. You have already worked on your own very well. Let's proceed to the next slide. All right. So many people say this. I don't have experience yet. You understand? So, like I already mentioned, I already spoke earlier on how you can write about your experiences. Okay? So look at the experiences that you can actually put out there. Your final year projects, your volunteer work, join energy groups, publish opinions, online certifications, and competitions. These are experiences that many of you have already engaged in. You understand? Your final year project, many of you have already started working on it, or you already know your topic, or something like that. Start writing the story, do it together. And then volunteer work, there are times where you volunteer to do something related to this energy thing. And what do? Talk about it, rebrand it. You understand? So and then publish your opinions. When a topic is out there, talking about energy, talking about technical things, go ahead and publish your opinions. These comments are visible on when recruiters search you, and opportunities will be very much available. Let's proceed. So I want to let you know, actually, that it's not about who you know, it is about who knows you. I want you to think about this very well. It's not about you, it's about who knows you. You might beg to differ, and you might argue with me now that in Nigeria is about who you know. I understand that some of us think like that in Nigeria, and that works sometimes. But then, when you are focusing on a job, or getting a professional job on LinkedIn, or an international offer, it is about who knows you, about who sees what you are doing. There is a colleague that was on learning cybersecurity. He was posting his particular journey, learning cybersecurity on Coursera. And he went through this journey, posted it day by day. And a professional, a prof actually, in one of these universities in the UK, I was following him through and saw the project and everything he was doing and gave him an offer. Now he's in the UK as a lecturer there on cybersecurity. So it's something that you really need to see. Don't just be making posts like, hi, I need a job, or you want to connect to somebody, you are going to make posts like, hi, I need a job, or you just chat somebody up like that. No, that's not it. You should personalize your connection notes. Personalize it. Comment value on their posts. That's when you're actually trying to connect with someone. Okay? Share their content with the thoughts. Check in even when you don't need help. It shows that you care. That's how you get connected. Let's proceed. Now look at this message now. This is a message that flows through, and we're going to see how this message can get a response. If you are a professional and somebody sends you a message like this, would you respond? Look at it. The first one, hi, you mentioned your name. You mentioned the name of the person. Hi, I came across your post on offshore drilling technology. It's a great insight on safety protocols. Then you go ahead and introduce yourself. I'm a finance petroleum engineering student at BUK working on my thesis on subsea systems. You understand? Because it relates to what the person posted. I would love to learn from someone doing real work in this space. Would you be open to a brief chat or just stay connected? You're asking a question, and then you end with your signature, which is your name. You write this tagline, BUK Petroleum Engineering, class of 2025, LinkedIn, voice, blah, blah, blah. You understand? With this, you're going to get a response. Let's proceed. And I want you to do something. Please, AI is at your tools, is at your hands, I mean. AI is at your hands. You need to make good use of it. Okay? AI is not taking your job. But somebody that knows how to use AI is going to take your job if you don't actually learn it. So if you are learning how to do anything, please involve AI, invite AI to make your work faster. And with this, you will be among the top selected people when you are actually trying to get a job. So look at this. Use AI to publish your CV. Use AI to write about your about. Use AI to prepare for interview. Use AI to research companies, to ask about those companies, whether they suit your particular goal and objective. Use AI for content creation. Use AI for outreach drafts. You understand? It creates personalized messages in a very nice way if you know how to humanize your AI. And learn to mix AI. Claude is really powerful nowadays. ChatGPT still has its strong points. So know what you can use it for in the best format. Let's proceed. So, like I mentioned, AI is your assistant, not your author. Don't just use AI generically. So use it to improve your ideas. Use it to explain concepts. You understand? Start with your own thoughts. Talk to AI about your thoughts. Let it refine it, sharpen and structure them. Go ahead and post those thoughts. And you will look so professional. People will wonder, wow, I like the way this game. You are an energy professional. You are on the path to becoming an energy professional. Okay? You are an energy professional. You are on the path to becoming an energy professional. So see yourself like that. And that's how it should be. So these are keywords you can use to search. I will drop this slide with Usman. I think you can get it from I will drop this slide with Usman. I think you can get it from him. So these are keywords you can use to search. And then these are moves you can actually use to do. Okay? So write about it. Follow, share, follow some top companies. Comment on industry posts. Document your thesis. Write about your energy issues. And connect with at least 3 professionals. I also have some points I want us to just close to. So there is a 30-day challenge that we prepared here. I would like to talk on that before we wrap up. Go to the 30-day challenge. Yeah, scroll, not this. Okay, scroll again, scroll. Leave it here. Let's focus on this now. I would like to actually leave you with this. I want you to focus on this challenge. Number 1, week 1, this is what you should do today or this coming week. Update your profile picture, write your headline, complete your about section, and add 3 skills. Actually, you can do almost all these things in one day. But we know that sometimes we have other activities flowing in our minds. So focus on week 2 now. Send 10 connection requests. Personalize every message. Don't send one particular message. Select professionals. 10 professionals to talk to. Don't be shy to post. Don't be shy to, many of us are shy to come out and post. How will people see me? Am I worthy? I don't understand if they will see me clearly. No, please, that shouldn't be your case. Use AI to refine your thoughts, write properly, write nicely, and post it. Come out there, don't be shy. Okay? And then with 4, stay connected, review profile analytics, post again, follow 10 energy companies, and set weekly reminders. Do you understand? So basically, this is where I'll end it. Please ensure you follow this. Ensure you follow this. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. And I just have nothing but when you said AI is taking our jobs, I'm one proud person that will say AI cannot take my job. Because there's no way AI can be an MC. Do you think AI can be an MC? Yes. You say yes. You can try it. But it's not going to be as funny as I am, though. Ladies and gentlemen, please can you put our hands together for engineer once again. I guess that presentation was not just for engineering students. I'm already thinking of updating my LinkedIn profile also. Thank you very much, sir. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's move next to the next agenda without wasting much of our time. The next, the virtual session, did we get to connect? Did we get to connect? The virtual session. Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, we'll be moving to the question and answer section for engineer. So please, do we have any question for the last speaker? Now what they show is here with me, I know that even when lecturers ask us in the class, do you have any question? I will say no, we just want to go. But we don't understand it. If you want to. Alright.
Good morning, sir. My name is Samson Abdul-Shai. We can't level the engineering students for this prestigious university camp. I really appreciate your presentation, sir. So my question is, to what extent should a professional prioritize building his online presence versus actually building his own technical expertise? And how can this be balanced? Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you very much. That's a very powerful question. Now, I want you to understand that you can actually be building your technical expertise and still be building your online presence. Just to be simple about what you do. Whenever you do any technical thing, you build something, celebrate your achievements, celebrate it, document it, that's your story. So that shows that you are actually working. But if you just focus only on building your technical expertise, nobody knows what to do. So how would you do it? You understand? So please, you should actually.
Okay. So let's assume Before this, I would like to introduce myself. confirm you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you. Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. Today I will be speaking on the following outlines. I'll start with the education ruling, which will lead us to the Nigerian energy context, the next step in the energy transition plan. I will talk about how to place Nigeria on renewable energy potential. Similarly, we will look at technical challenges that hinder the integration of energy sources and the opportunity it can create. Then I will wrap up with national strategies for preventing integration of renewable energy. It is obvious we all know that Nigerian energy stands against agricultural plantation, a pursuing transition plan and route to achieving net zero emission by 2060. While simultaneously addressing national energy poverty despite using abundant renewable energy resources. Building energy sources like solar, hydro, and biomass, the country electricity continue to suffer from inadequate generation capacity, transmission constraint, grid instability, grid electricity. In this conversation, build Nigerian energy transition plan. It seeks to increase the energy access, reduce greenhouse emission, and promote sustainable economic growth. The roadmap focuses on expanding renewable energy generation, modernizing electricity sector, promoting energy efficiency, and encouraging private sector integrating national grid essential for achieving this objective. Thirdly, in addressing the supply deficit. The roadmap acknowledges natural gas as a transitional fuel while promoting large-scale deployment of solar energy, meaning its large storage systems and modern transmission infrastructures. And again, one of the key policies that government put in place in electricity act of 2023, this wants to decentralize regulation in power chain, giving state and private sector the opportunity to establish localized green energy. At the same time, we develop the resources the large policies to be able to actualize this plan. Now, we all know that there are social renewable energy sources like solar, hydro, and wind. When we look at Nigeria, like in the north of Nigeria, we usually receive a solar irradiation ranging from 47 kilowatt hour per meter scale per day, making solar one of the most renewable energy sources in countries and cost-saving application. Similarly, land-level power plants like Tangi, Supreme, Java, and Shuru, all that this contributes significantly to electricity generation. Additionally, small and medium hydro power plants continue to remain underground because when you are living around and you have a dance out and you generate maybe 5 megawatts and so below per day, even we are doing centralized things, or maybe you look at the rural area and you remove electrified rural communities, probably will be placed to small-scale industries around. Then other resources, when we look at areas based on this map, you can see areas like Sokoto, Katsina, and Delta State exhibit wind power. Practically one of the modern is being developed. Another source is biomass. Even though people often see biomass as mainly renewable energy, but that's only has to do with combining actually handling it sustainably, or when it's not managed sustainably. So collectively, all these resources continue to diversify Nigeria's energy, and improve energy security. So on this slide, I'm going to look at the challenges
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think we just lost our speaker, so we're trying to connect back. I'm so sorry. This event might be kind of a little bit boring. I see some of us are already yawning. I would have ordered food for you, but not financially stable. So let's get this stable energy Nigeria ahead of the time. So let's see if we can get back to this thing. Well, for those of us that are young, let's do something very quickly before we head back. So, can I actually do the giveaway? Airtime giveaway. Something? Yes. Alright, are you using MTN? Are you using MTN? Alright then. Get ready. If you are ready, I'm ready. Are you ready? You're not ready? Okay, are you ready now? Are we ready? Alright, can I call the numbers? Alright, 70 370 515 92. That is my OP number. In case anybody wants to help me, please. I need help. Yes, if you please. Yes, on obey you see. Yes. Did you see money back? Yes, so that's my OP account number. In case anybody wants to help me.
ji? Sai an canja motar aiki sai ta yi connecting da
Voice changed. Voice changed. Enter radio input. Enter to Bluetooth.
There is a difference between a belonging to the problem to one from this system.
Also, this will also help us in our economic growth and job creation for the team of employees in the country. Also, business across manufacturing the selection of production and maintenance, also in the operation and maintenance of the solar batteries, solar panels, and other things like that are common if this is actually put in place. Then it will improve environmental impact. Increase the level of renewable energy can significantly greenhouse gas emissions, air pollution, and environmental degradation, fuel consumption. This supports Nigeria's climate commitment and sustainable development goals. So, then also when we look at this renewable energy, they will help us to get this modern, modern grid, smart energy. Then transition, great opportunity to this technology can improve reliability, reduce and enhance renewable energy sources. Okay, then distributed renewable energy system. By transmission losses. Also, it will help electrify rural areas, and by doing that, we are improving the reliability of the main national grid source. Then, this battery system, like also like the storage like the management and also low storage integration. Because this is actually needed for the peak shading, voltage regulation, and the ensuring total stability of the system. The electricity Act of 2023 created an opportunity reliance energy continue regulatory people and employ 24 renewable energy investment, improving electricity market and public-private partnership. There's also the national integration strategies that are analysis. One is investing in transmission and distribution infrastructure upgrades. This will likely help in be able to convey all the energy generated by the renewable energy sources to the community. Then the large-scale energy storage system implements smart grid technology, strengthen renewable energy for backup and grid management for population, develop critical training programs, capacity development, encourage public-private partnerships, and that attract renewable energy investments. So almost in the last thing I can see Nigeria energy transition roadmap represents a critical part of the goal achieving economic development.
I think we are going to write down the questions and send to you. If you answer them, then we can read them out to the person or the people who ask the question.
Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the presenter once again. And then, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for yourselves for being patient enough. Hello. Are we still connected? Are we still connected? Hello. Yes, sir. We said we are going to jot down the questions and send to you. So if you answer them, we can read them out to the. I'm also just connected again. Are you serious?
Yes, sir. So we decided to save time and we want to write down the questions and send to you. So if you answer them, when you send back the answers, we can read them out to those who ask the questions, sir. I don't think it's getting us.
Okay, we'll send you the questions so to have the answers. Okay. Okay, thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much, sir. So, ladies and gentlemen, are we good now? Can we continue? All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, the next on my agenda is remarks by Professor Bala. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I was not raised here, so pronouncing some names is going to be really hard for me, sir. So please pardon me if I pronounce it incorrectly. So I have Professor Bala Bukata, HOD Electrical Engineering Department. Ladies and gentlemen, we don't stop clapping, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, he says thank you.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. The chairman, organizing committee, my colleagues, students, and visitors to this occasion, you're all welcome. I just came back from the journey actually. I didn't intend to talk much, but based on the topic of the conference, which I can hardly see, preparing for blah 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 through skills, innovation, and industry readiness in Nigeria. I would like to pinpoint or to pick on the three keywords there and briefly talk about them. That is skills, innovation, and industry readiness. In the universities recently, we've been grappling to deal with filling the gap between academia and industry. And that has been an ongoing, very long-term struggle. What we ended up with end-of-year projects in our laboratories, which are almost meaningless, except for a few, which we do take for symposiums and things like that. However, when it comes to skills, that is the infant trend now globally. Skills-based acquisition. What happens is the world over is now going skill-based. Now, the skills are some kind of embedded phenomena. What I mean by that is, in an engineering knowledge body, there are two terms: the engineering aspect and the technological aspect, and they form the engineering body. Now, the engineering aspect is formed by the engineers, and the technological aspect is formed by the technologists. They work hand in hand, really. So what happens? Who are the engineers and who are the technologists? We should all know the answers to this, actually. The engineers know how the system or why the system works. The engineers know why the system works. And the technologists know how it works. With that combination, we can have a skill-based phenomenon. They both need each other to operate. So with that, skills being embedded in technology, the struggle for bridging the gap between academia and industry can now be simplified. Hope I'm making sense. And then we move to innovation, where the entrepreneurial activity comes in. Innovation and inventiveness are two words, but different from each other. The entrepreneur needs to be inventive, right? And then there's also innovation. He has to be innovative. Otherwise, he will die in the marketplace. Now, you become inventive, you come up with a product idea. From inception to the pricing or the product itself, they just make some packages different from the former product. So it looks like a new product, so that it will be able to be sustained within the marketplace. Now that's how engineering goes. Okay? The next thing I would like to talk about is industry readiness. That's why they fill in the gap, and push it through the market. Now you are virtually helping the industry. Okay? Through your activities. That's through your inventiveness, through your innovation, and through the sustainable activity of the product through the marketplace. So these three things, this title actually would not have come at the best time. This is the better time for it. So I think with this development, if you can think along the line and think deep within these three keywords, definitely we're going to make a lot of changes, and the gap between the industry and academia will certainly reduce. The next important thing is about our investors coming into the environment. The operating environment, of course, we call it the deepest environment. Every business will have to operate within these 5 environments. That the business environment, the economic environment, the political environment, the social environment, and the technological environment. Those are 5 environments. Every product will have to go through this. Every entrepreneur will have to face these challenges. Okay? So if by any chance you find yourself in the innovative or entrepreneurial activity, please try to identify those environments and make sure that whatever product you produced or you developed is sustained right from the beginning to the end of its life. Otherwise, you will fail. Certainly, you will fail as an entrepreneur. The essence of being here is to become inventors, entrepreneurs and company owners. That's what your end of year projects were supposed to do. They are supposed to be your companies. We need the investors to come into this, either from the industry or from anywhere, to come and see what we're doing in the universities, so that they can now put in their funds to fund your projects, which I think is lacking now. I've seen that with a lot of countries, like in the UK, they call it Dragon Den. It's a group of wealthy people. They come into the universities. They source for undergraduate students, and they fund them there and then. The moment the students are able to kind of demonstrate the worthiness of the projects. But this is lacking in this country, unfortunately. Okay, so please prepare your minds against the future. We don't know where you're going to end up. So, well, with this, I think I terminate my speech.
Anything that looks like lunch. So anything that looks like lunch. So I have to ask the organizers, where are you hiding the lunch? Are you sure the lunch is available? Or is it just prayer break? Let's say we are going to pray. The lunch is available. Or is it just prayer break? Let's say we are going to pray. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. Exactly. Please, ladies and gentlemen, can you guys together for the organizers? Now we are motivated to continue. We can be here till 5 p.m. Yes, I love what I'm seeing. I love it when I see drinks and food at events. Just take the words you know how to do best. So ladies and gentlemen, the next session is network session A, scholarships, internships, and entrepreneurships. Our presenter, ladies and gentlemen, is no other person but Dr. Mubarak Awal Saleh. He is the Director of Center for Artificial Intelligence and Innovation from Aliko Dangote University of Science and Technology, Kano. Ladies and gentlemen,
So today I will be talking about the topic of scholarship, internship, and entrepreneurship opportunities in the energy sector. I have a background from electrical engineering and later on transition into artificial intelligence. So I will give up the topic of artificial intelligence because it's something that big students have a background in particular. Society today actually, because every sector now have artificial intelligence and it makes a difference. We don't like it or more people start to adopt and just not to create ourselves. So first of all, we
see what we have at stake at the end of this presentation. So, today's we will of course we have AI energy, generative AI, application of digital skills on scholarships and fellowships, internships and jobs, entrepreneurship with AI and so the AI energy market globally it's around $1.3 billion. And with the help of AI, we are able to improve the efficiency to up to 40%. And Africa, we have the largest neighborhood of energy, around 600 billion. So, with the targets that Nigeria is trying to achieve, which is net zero carbon emission by 2030, and we are 2026, I think we have a very short period to transition into digital energy sector and renewable energy sector. So average rate is like 4,000 megawatts. So with this, I think we are lagging behind need to. So with that, we are presenting a lot of the energy sector. Okay, and around 60% of the population are suffering from energy crisis. So as the largest economy, we need to improve on this, but we need to start working from our universities, improving our curriculum and good mentorship. These are the things that we need to work on. Because students will be sure to start that you need to work better and you need to make yourself different from your course in order to be innovative. Okay? So, what is generative AI? Lately we've been using ChatGPT, Cloud, Gemini, DeepSeek, and all. So, it is very important to understand that generative AI just have more statistical models that can generate information. Okay, or like more explained information. So, this is generative AI. Online AI just because of classification, features, but the generative AI can generate more reports, codes, and other stuff. So, why does generative AI why is it important in the energy sector? So, for example, in the exploration industry, power generation, we can use it balance the grid distribution, renewable energy, and dependent on policy outcomes. So this we can use generative AI to have all the power generations for certain periods. Grid load is much, so solar can grid and load optimization. Thus, clearly efficient and also electrification planning for the rural areas GIS. So, what are the leading companies in the world that usually use AI? For example, we have the BP, UK, Google, the Australian Denmark, GE, Renova, State Grid, China, other places to normally apply AI depressions. For example, in the distribution organization, okay, cyber attacks for those that have already digitalized energy sector and stuff like that. So, and AI technology doesn't require professionals. Most of them have AI, computer like AI, because it can detect areas that are not being fully powered. IoT and Edge AI, Internet of Things is one of the things that is being applied now, most especially in smart cities. We have deep learning, digital skills, education sector, reinforcement learning for continuous learning, AI and data infrastructure. So data is one of the things that is very important. So for the foundation members for AI, year 1, year 2, you need to manage yourself with programming, okay, less relations. Also, you need to be advanced in data analysis. For AI, you need to know it, Colab, which is a free platform by Google as well for programming also. And also, we have ChatGPT and LLM. So you need to have better understanding about all these things to be able to make different proposals from other universities and around you. And this will give you an upper hand also when you get into job interview, because you have something that you can give in which is different from what people normally have. So at the advanced level, we have frameworks that you can learn, okay, and also you can have these certificates from Coursera, LinkedIn. These are very important as well to have free certificates. Some are being paid, but not of them are free as well, and they can use it for you. So you also need to build an AI portfolio. For example, if you are going to be using AI in the energy sector in order to get jobs, in order to get internships and scholarships. So first of all, you can create a GitHub repository whereby you can share access codes and you can work on people's access codes. Okay. Enter into competitions like the ones in the Chicago. Write technical articles, build AI tools, and AI is free certificate projects. They are already available, for example, in Kaggle and GitHub. So, what are the Nigerian scholarships available? So, you need to find out, search for that. You can use the large language models or the generative models, for example, ChatGPT. Now, you can check and see which jobs are available. Even if you search and you couldn't get those but at least you can search with them. They can help you because they are on our website. For example, we have for the global scholarship, we have Chemney, Google, other universities scholarships which are available also. So, how to use scholarship? First of all, you need to get your CGPA, which is very important. Right now, all the personal statements apply for scholarships on yearly basis. Collect strong recommendation letters from the early stage about these deadlines and these baby scholarships if there is any. So, Nigerian companies hiring for AI. For example, we have the NNPC group, Total Energies, Okocha Refineries, Kepo, and all. Most of the companies now, whether they like it or not, they just need to hire people with digital skills. Because we are digitalizing all the time, even though Nigeria will be lagging behind at some place, but at least we are trying our best. So, most of the international scholarships that have been popular now are, for example, Google, BBVK, African Development Bank, Cote d'Ivoire, World Bank USA, which is remote as well, because now you can have a remote internship and you can have a physical internship. Sometimes you can have a hybrid depending on the location. So with this, once you search, you'll be able to get them. Of your universities, friends, and all, apply 6 months early always. If the opening is long, you don't have to wait until the deadline has reached before you start to apply. So the energy problems that we can apply AI startups, or we can do for AI startups. For example, managing of upgrade, metering, detection or tempering of meters. Okay, so you can also be able to provide a platform whereby you can manage or predict the power that will be allocated to certain areas and other applications of AI in terms of forecasting and detection within the grid. So, some of the ideas we can have billing, pay-as-you-go solar platforms, GIS, you can be a consultant also, generative AI, chatbots. For example, most of the banks now you can see that they have their own chatbots, so you can create your own chatbots and be providing services. So, there are samples of startups that I mentioned in this slide. Maybe later on you can just go through them. So for funding of your startups, you can go for Tony Alemo Foundation, USAID, US Development Bank, Google. They are funding startups, and some, I think, European Union also normally fund startups based on your idea and how they see it fit. So there are different native AI tools that you can use, for example, ChatGPT, Gemini, Google Notebook, Cloud, GitHub Copilot, flexibility. These are AI, generative AI tools that we normally use, but they operate differently because mostly we train them based on what we want, what we intend to do with them. Some are for images and text, some are for text, some are for images, some are for videos. So depending on what you intend to do, you can build one for energy sector as well, so that you can help you in writing reports, in editating bolts, forecasting loads, and other things. So I have some examples of leading AI and energy sectors startups. So building a global AI facility network from UK, one you need to start in LinkedIn, Google Video Purpose, and couple of opportunities to get from the right because that's what it is very important. So you need to also be useful in the social media space. For example, you don't need to post about things that you're interested in, so that people that you have similar interests will be communicated together and follow each other and go for conferences around the country. So the challenge is that normally electricity. So you can say that you can plan at the same time and practice later on. So also you can't say that okay, I'm just from petroleum engineer or chemical engineer and I don't need AI. So you really need income. Whether you like it or not, you just have to adopt. Okay? Also you can't say that okay, this is this, so I'm not interested in this. So this doesn't work. All you have to do is just manage yourself, and then focus on the other goals. So that I think is the problem now because I think the position is not good. you need to build a foundation, a proof of work, and also go global. For example, LinkedIn and GitHub. So this is the presentation. Thank you so much.
Alright, thank you very much for that very wonderful presentation. I know we are really exhausted already, so it's really time for us to go for the prayer break and lunch break. Yes, that's what was written on my agenda. So, Usman, are we going to have the lunch first before the prayer? You want us to be thinking about the prayer? Alright, at this point we will go for prayer and lunch break. And then we'll have 2 more presentations and then we wrap up. So please, we want to indulge your patience. Be patient because as we are learning, we are really learning. Are we learning? So as we are learning, I don't think we should be too exhausted or too tired. So please, we can all go for our prayer and lunch break. Yes, lunch, emphasis on lunch. Please. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back in the next 15 minutes. How many minutes? Usman, how many minutes are we? 86 hours. 1 hour. This is 12:55. We're coming back by 1:55. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back by 1:55 and then we can see you. Thank you very much. Sorry, please, I think they will be directing.
Yeah, so that's a very simple way to, as simple as this appears to be, but this is what's in the commercial, oil and gas commercial. These are basic things that we mentioned. So if coming up with, for instance, $50 per barrel, what we do is we go through what we call the cost drivers. So for each field, there will be the cost drivers, and then you see what the drivers for each cost is, and then you try to just minimize it or optimize it. Okay, so this is some of the language we use in the oil and gas commercial. So, like we mentioned here, so leaders have to speak low, just on the engineering terms of business. So revenue for the oil and gas is essentially the selling price is multiplied by what you produce. The OPEX, CAPEX, I believe this very basic as well. The IRR, that's like the interest rate in your operation. The cash flow is cash actually moving, so it's just that's cash flow. The NPV, that's the value of your project, discounted to the period. And the investment decision is the sum total of your decision. So you take decision based on some of these points mentioned here. Okay, let's go. So the AI revolution, I think, like I mentioned, I had this, but I think Dr. Mubarak has done a very wonderful work on it, so I wouldn't like to dwell on much on this. But essentially, like I mentioned, AI has come to stay. What do you need to do? One thing is, please don't just give a prompt and then copy and paste. You have to own whatever you do. And you have to know what you are actually doing. So it's good that you understand the fundamentals. If you do understand the fundamentals, then working with the prompt and so on becomes much easier. So essentially, these are some of the things you can do with AI in the oil and gas industry, you could do reservoir analysis, predictive maintenance, document reviews. For instance, we do a lot of this in commercial, a lot of contracts. So you will review a lot of contracts with that, economic modeling, for you to take that investment decision, and a lot of things you can actually do with AI. Next, please. So these are some AI tools that you can utilize, because in the AI presentation, I think there were more that were given, but these are just a few that you could have. As well as students, you will have as much as possible until you start to get, you have the, usually they are free for the first few times, and you can utilize that before you start making the money to subscribe. Next, please. Okay, so here, again, I think he has that person, engineer, is it Victor? The person that made the presentation on LinkedIn. I think this is very important, and that's what I also, it has already been discussed, I think, very eloquently. So I wouldn't like to bore you again with this. But essentially, you know, you come out of the university, you have a name, you have your certificate, and so on. And then, by your reputation, you know, what he mentioned in the LinkedIn, you build in your reputation. You know, what comes up when you Google yourself, for instance. So that travels even faster than your company. And then that leads to the opportunities you see in the oil and gas industry. Recruiters, a lot of times actually Google candidates before interviews. So before you even go there, they have a bit of idea of who you are. And then he talked about how to build very strong LinkedIn perspective in the social media. So that's essentially it. I think if you've gotten the key points from the LinkedIn presentation, that should be fine with this. Okay, so this too, I had wanted to just summarize this: the competence, character, consistency, communication, and contribution. So, but this essentially has also been, you know, very much discussed by the presenter and Victor. So, I will just progress. But these are very essential skills, I think. You know, you have to have that competence, and then character is very, very key. It's very important. You have to be consistent in what you do. Very good things, you need to be consistent. And then communication, you have to know how to communicate. Not just knowing what you know, but you have to know how to communicate it. Just like I was actually talking about, he's doing that very well. And then the last one is contribution. So talking about, I had wanted to just bring this to you, maybe character and consistency. So when I did my internship in the refinery a very long time ago, and my supervisor then was someone. So about many years ago, actually many years after, I just happened to, so I stay in Benin now, in Edo State. So I was coming out of the shop and I just saw him, my previous supervisor. So when I saw him, he recognized me and we got speaking. And then I asked him if he actually recognized me, and he said yes. That was like maybe 18 years difference. He said yes. And then, okay, he mentioned something, and I'm not trying to say that's who am I, but he said, I will say it in Hausa, he said, so that's what he said, that I used to say the truth. So what happened was, there was an incident that happened. So we were in the refinery, we were in the plant, and then in the night, usually we go for shifts. So in the shift, you are expected to just stay around in the plant and just work, so that if there's an emergency, you start to work. So that night we came, and when it was very night, I just went to the mosque to sleep. So, and it happened that there was emergency in the plant, and they were calling everyone to plant to come and do work. And we were in the mosque. So me and a few of us were actually in the mosque. And so in the morning, they called a meeting that who and who weren't available during the emergency. And then he was actually prompting me to say that I was somewhere within the plant. But when it came to my turn, I told them that I was inside the mosque and I was sleeping. So at first he wasn't happy. He was prompting me to just say that I was inside the plant. But you know what I'm just trying to say is not about myself or anything. But that's what people actually remember about him. That was about 18 years gap, and I think when that happened, we never met with him again until 18 years after. But that was the only thing he remembered about. So let's go. So those the things. I think this is very essential for building your brand, your character. Yeah. So let's go. Okay. So the LinkedIn new CV. I think this needs no further details. It has already been discussed very much in the. So let's just go to the mistakes that kill careers. The first one is entitlement. You know, we've seen this, you know, people come into the industry. Projects, you have your group projects, solve a visible problem, help your colleagues, and also take initiatives. Okay, so these are some of the things that I think I learned out of the four corners of the university. So one is that, you know, that meeting matters. A lot of the decisions that shape your career happen in formal meetings. And so that are very, very key and important. Also writing. And like I mentioned to you, when I started my career, I was writing a lot of memos very different from engineering. You know, writing to community memos, HSC, and a lot of other things. And then negotiation. So you get to, especially if you are in the commercial role, you get to do a lot of negotiations, a lot of commercial negotiations. And then reputation, I've discussed about reputation. And then there's any decision, especially in the oil and gas industry, is worth, you know, some of them could be worth millions of dollars. So there has to be a back-end economics to just justify that. And sometimes you might be surprised, you know, you just come into the industry 5 years down the line, you know, you might be taking decision that is worth just a lot. And so you need to just take that decision very well. And relationship as well, relationship matters a lot. That actually becomes much more clearer when you know, go to the industry. Okay, so this essentially some of the lessons I wish I knew earlier. That relationship matter more than you actually think. So it's very good. As you are now students, just try to develop that relationship, you know, even when you go out of the industry. So some of the students that we've had coming to us for internships, you know, we still maintain contact with them. Learn negotiations, this is very important, credibility, focus on value creation, and then importantly, read more or just learn as much as you can, just continuous learning. Okay, so this is what I had mentioned I wanted to talk about, the technical, commercial, and ethical leadership. Like I mentioned, a lot of the people in this room, the previous presenters have already talked eloquently about them. And the commercial, I think we've touched just a bit, just a pointer as to what the expectation is. So I think we can just go to the last two. Yeah, this is just essentially just next. Yeah. So this is what I just want you to keep in mind, that your degree gets you into the room, but your technical competence earns you the respect, and then this is why commercial is important, because it creates value. So the last slide, that will just be the key takeaways. So if I would just like to say that the key takeaways from our discussion today, for anything, you have to master your technicals. So whatever you are learning, the engineering you are learning today, you have to just master it. You have to learn the language of business, and that is commercial. So whatever industry you would like to join, you have to know how the commercial works. Actually, that's very, very key and important. So you have to then create your brand intentionally. Someone has already talked about how LinkedIn actually helps a lot with that. And then embrace AI as a tool, like I mentioned. This has to be done cautiously, because I think those that are doing cautiously actually are putting a lot of load on the lecturers. So the last one will be to create value, not just activity. I think this is the end of what I would like to discuss. Like I mentioned, I just wanted to make it very, very interactive, and I had some, I had wanted to talk about the AI and LinkedIn and technicals, but those have already been discussed. So this is essentially it, and so I'm very happy that I'm part of this year physically. I think I was part of it for about 2 or 3 years. I was joining online. So thank you very much, organizing committee. Thank you very much, participants, for listening. And if you have any questions, please, any questions that you'd like to just learn about the industry, something that is bothering you, pass through engineering and commercial, we might have some answers to that. Thank you, Vic. Very good contribution.
Thank you very much, sir. If not that I really heard the sound of these claps, I would have said we were sleeping. Because if you take a long time without eating, if the next thing is you are going to sleep. As I'm talking from a nutrition perspective, sir, I studied nutrition and dietetics. Yes, I hear in Bayero University, Kano. Yet to collect my results, so I don't know whether I'm going to graduate with a 2-1 or a 2-2. Yes, sir, I am actually just selling myself to the case you have a job for me. I said I studied nutrition and dietetics. So what I do is, these people are supposed to pay consultation fee before you hear what I do. So what I do is, I prescribe for you food, just like the pharmacist will prescribe medicine. So if you're a diabetic patient, if you're obese, I tell you what to eat to come back to normal. So in case, I'm not just an MC, not just this, I do a lot. I'm also a fashion designer, I sew. So please, if you want to patronize me, thank you very much. So ladies and gentlemen, the next on our agenda is panel discussion. But the fact that nobody has been asking any questions looks like we are not really following. Do you have questions, please? Okay. Sir, should we take the question now? All right, thank you, sir.
Hello, my name is Indu Sarabi Isa. Thank you very much, Mustafa, for the wonderful presentation. Did I focus more on suggesting after entering the industry on how you showcase yourself and appreciate from others? But nowadays, students and graduates are focusing on how to get into the industry. So my question is, looking at the competitiveness of the market today, many graduates, focusing on how to get to the industry, but it becomes somehow difficult because of the amount of the number of graduates that are passionate in order to get to the industry. What are the best strategies those graduates and students start developing in order to enter the industry? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Inusa. So, and to be honest, I will say what you are doing is exactly what you should be explaining. So, the question you just asked, the answer, I see it in him actually. So the things are, one, you create a very, very good LinkedIn profile or presence in social media. So with very good LinkedIn profiles, actually, you could get people actually looking for you. You don't even, in some instances, have to just apply. People actually look for you, depending on how you come up with the LinkedIn profile. That's one. Number two, and very importantly, I think, is especially for engineers now, that 400 level 6 month period for your internship, I think is very, very critical. So some people, and I'm not judging anyone, but I think it's very good if you are able to venture out. Don't just stay where you are. You have to leave your comfort zone. Just try to venture out to where you feel you get a lot of experience. Like I mentioned, I did my internship in the refinery. And again, I will just share my own experience. So when we finish university, and again, I will answer, that's the third one now, is to be applying to virtually anywhere. So just apply. If they call you for test interview, just go. It gives you experience. It builds your confidence in the interview stage and so on. So when we finished NYSC, I applied for, I was shooting, just applying everywhere. So, and I applied for a job in Total Energies. But they replied that they needed someone with 3 years of experience, so I wasn't eligible. But they called me and said if I was interested, then they had the scholarship opportunity. I then went. I called my friend, very, very confident person. His name is Usman. So we went there. It was actually very, very competitive. So it's across the company, but I think they give about 10 people in a year throughout the country. So myself and Usman, we went for the test. And then when I saw the number of people, I was telling him that, how are we going to manage to get into this? And he said, look, Mustafa, if it's going to be 2 people, it's going to be me and you. But if it's going to be 1 person, it's going to be me. That's him. So that was what happened, actually. So about 10 of us were actually selected, and we went to Paris to IFP school. So what am I trying to say? Apart from LinkedIn profile, that's number one. Number two is to have very good internship. I think what helped during the interview when I was having was my experience in the refinery. So those guys actually came from France to do the interview, and they were exaggerating, but they were saying I could run a refinery. You can imagine. I don't know what that is, but that's what they were saying. But that was, it's not me. It's not about me. It was what I learned in the refinery. It was just immersing myself in the industry, and that was what I told Engineer Inusa and quite a few faces I see here when it came to NEPL. The thing is, just immerse yourself, just learn as much as possible. You never know how far that can take you to. So these are them to shorten the LinkedIn profile, internship, and apply. Just apply. Just apply in there, 100 places, just apply to them and just go on with the process so that you just select the best one for yourself. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. We have one more person here. Okay, so thank you so much for this presentation, sir. So my question is if, assuming you were recruiting a fresh graduate now, what maybe like 2 or 3 qualities that will convince you that this particular candidate is actually ready or competent enough
to be in the energy sector, what's the 3 or 2 qualities will convince you that this candidate is well enough for the opportunity?
Very, very good question. So, I'll be very honest with you, and I like first class, because I didn't get first class. I graduated with 4.47. So, and so that's why I like the people that graduated first class. I honestly respect them a lot. But what I think learned in the industry now is working with people, under me, a few people working under me, and the graduates that now came in. I think we had some graduates last year.
Voice changed.
What?
Voice changed. That's not me. That's not me. Voice changed. Voice changed.
So I think
Voice changed.
Hello? Yeah, I think that's me now. So, I'll be very honest, like I mentioned, having a first class and having very good grades is very, very wonderful. It gives you that edge, it brings you into the room. But, having people working under me, graduate trainees coming in, I learned that, to me, as the leader of my team, I prefer to have someone who is committed, who is diligent, than a very, very intelligent person who is not who does not have this quality. So I can work with someone who is average, but is very committed, is very diligent, than a very, very intelligent person who is not committed and diligent in what he does. And I will explain it. So, when you work in the industry, and I believe it's the same everywhere, you get a lot of deadlines. Sometimes you work middle of the night, weekends, and so on and so forth. If you have someone who is diligent and committed, you will be able to deliver results. You'll be able to deliver results to your boss, to your. But if you don't have that commitment and diligence, you won't be able to have that. So that's one key characteristic. If I'm recruiting someone, I think I will, apart from the the technicals you have, one key thing is having the soft skills. You have the personal development for how did your commitment, your diligence, how you are able to communicate, how you are able to work with others. These soft skills are very, very important as well. Thank you.
Hello, sir. Thanks for your time. I'm Bashir Jumena from Software Engineering Department. My question is that we are getting to energy. So recently, I came across the social media that NAC are allowed to generate power from your solar, and you can even sell it to help for grid problems. So how do you see this will help energy sector? And also recently, as the Dangote is also partnering with Peugeot in regarding the automobile. So how can we utilize these opportunities here locally within our nation?
Yeah, thank you, and very good question. So, normally, I'm not the best person that can answer the NERC. I have read it too, and I believe it's a very good initiative. So, although it's the energy industry in general, but I'm more specific to the oil and gas. So I don't know what the specifics of that would be. On the surface, and as I read it, I think it's a very good policy that you'll be able to generate your own power, and if you generate excess, you can even sell it. I think it's a very laudable initiative. And for what Dangote is doing with the automobile industry. As much as possible, I think if you can work with the to just revive the local industry, that should be something very laudable. And I think that's what is being done with the as well. We now have local refining, and then when you go even in global scale, Nigeria is part of the refining, is in the refining map. So I think those are laudable initiatives on the surface, the way I see them, but probably the experts, I believe I've seen a very, very good comments about them too. So I believe they are laudable initiatives that should be encouraged.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I thought as much. These questions were not coming because we did not eat. Now I see a lot of hands up. I'm also tired. I cannot be walking up and down. It seems you guys have to come down to collect this mic now. So how many more are we taking in? Alright, thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the presentation. My name is Mohammed Ahmed Isa from ABU Civil Engineering Department. My question goes to this, as a student, how can a student bridge the gap between the three aspects of studies, technical sections, and commercial sections?
Great, very good question. So I think number one, and so I think when maybe NUC, when they were coming up with the curriculum, that second semester, fourth year, I think it was quite deliberate that you are supposed to go to the industry to just learn some things so that you consolidate the learnings you have from school. So just to mention again, I think I've mentioned this again. I think to me, having my 6 months internship in the refinery was a game changer for me. I learned a lot of things. I saw equipment, a lot of things that I only read in books. Engineer Yunusa and a few others were with us, and some of your colleagues are still with us in Benin. I think they are really getting a lot of the experience. Last time, about 2 weeks ago, I think some of them, like 5 of them, came saying they wanted to go to the field, and then we arranged going to the field with them, where they would actually see the wellheads. So what they see here is just drawing of wellheads, probably the flow station and so on. But when you go there and you see the actual, it sticks to you, and then that's how to bridge the two. That's one of the points to bridge the two. And for the commercial, like I mentioned, there is a lot of learning. So there are a lot of learning platforms now that we have. The AI, which Dr. Mubarak has eloquently discussed. And there are a lot of online institutions now that you can go on to learn commercials. And so you keep on learning. So as it is now, I started a course on petroleum economics just 2 weeks ago. And I'm into it. So you continuously learn. There are a lot of learning, that you can do online. So that's essentially how to bridge the two between the technical, commercial, and the industry, essentially. If you do this, I think it will be great. So that when you start to, apply for positions, when you go for interviews, I think you stand out if you have these qualities. Thank you, sir. Do we have any more? Okay.
Thank you very much for sharing experience with us. My name is Abdullah Abdullah, final year student of the here at University. So my question still lies on your presentation. You mentioned about the skills, vocational, technical, and having a good result and so on and so forth. But my question now is, I myself, how the graduate also, and we have competition out there. People have this particular skills we're talking about, both the vocational skills, the technical skills, the computer skills, and so on and so forth. So there's this trend going on about MBA and also actually plan to do both, but as an expert in the field now, what advice would you give me? Should I go for MBA first, or I should go for Masters in Engineering? Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. So between MBA and Masters in Engineering, okay. Masters in Engineering, right, and MBA. So I think it depends on how you want to build your career, right? It depends on how you want to build your career. So if you, sorry? Okay, so if it's entrepreneurship, then I think MBA would be the good one for you. So in the industry, and that's where currently we are not doing that, but even in the company I work in, you know, one of the things they are looking into is having a dual career path. So you have those that are going to the technical and those that are going to the administration or managerial positions. So if you have that dual role, some people are, you know, a lot of engineers, they're not really interested in becoming managers or MD or ED or whatever it is. They are really just interested in focusing on engineering, doing the calculations up to the time they retire at 60. They will be doing calculations, and I've been in, so I was seconded to a company in Lagos for about 3 years, and we have the chief engineer, or they don't call him, you know, but an experienced engineer. He wasn't interested in becoming GM or manager or whatever. He was just interested in doing his engineering. So for that kind of position, the master's in engineering would be an excellent decision for him to go. But if you are interested in, you know, doing your own business, entrepreneur, and or becoming, even in this kind of companies, becoming manager, director, or so on, then the MBA could be, you know, a better option for you. Thank you.
Good day, sir. My name is Abdullah Abdullah, a recent graduate of Nigeria. These are an energy conference, and centered around your topic is talking about oil and gas and water. As a recent graduate who is interested in that particular field, we believe, or let me say, we have this perception that, or let me say it's like that, South is the oil and gas hub, as we all believe. So for most of us that are here, or let me say that graduated here in the north, have a slimmer chance of getting into that sector because of the competition that is high there. So recently, I was already applying for a certification course because I believe right now we need certifications to back up our degree to make us relevant in such field. I was already applying for a certification course at PTI, process control process. So I couldn't go for some personal reasons. So at this point, I don't know, I'm in a crossroad actually. Are you suggesting we should go all out? That if we are interested in the sector, we should go all out and leave almost everything we are doing here to focus on getting what will work for us there. For example, for instance now, I am about to start my NYSC, so I don't really know where I'll be posted. Are you suggesting, okay, we should, right now my focus should be on getting my NYSC around that region to be able to gain the internship or experience that is relevant in that sector, or what I suggested?
So, very good question. And I think I alluded to that when I was answering, I think it was him. Yes, so currently the oil and gas industry is mostly located in the South. But I'm sure you're aware of the exploration and appraisal that's ongoing around the Pomani areas. And just to mention, I'm also the lead planning and supply chain for that project, actually, the Pomani project. So, but just to mention that what I mentioned to him when I was applying, so I applied to Total for work, like I mentioned when I was doing NYSC in Kaduna. I applied and then they said they needed, anyway, you know, when you are doing NYSC, you're now, you know, like Yunus and maybe Sanusi as well.
Yeah.
Right now, the competition is way higher.
I understand. So I'll give you an instance. So, like I mentioned, when I applied, they needed 3 years of experience, and then they said, you know, because we were just doing NYC, they will call us for scholarship. So when we went for that scholarship, like I mentioned, my friend and I, we went there. There, they actually told us that preference will be given to people from the south. I didn't mention that initially. And then, you know, we were many. And then they were giving people, I think, 10 or slightly less than 10. Even then, even now, if you have all of this, you know, in your mind, would you still go to that? There was a lot of competition, and then the competition was not even probably even because someone was telling you that they would give preference to someone. But when I called my friend Usman, he told me that if it was 2 people, it was me and him, and then if it was one person, it's going to be him. So I just had to go. So, but what gave us the confidence? Actually, Usman is now with the child. So what gave us the confidence? What gave the confidence was the, especially for me and even him, he did his internship, I think, in Total, Exxon, and I think Williams, and I did in the refinery. I think it was the internship, and that's why I was emphasizing on the internship, and I told a few of the guys that were with us in Benin that let them take the internship very seriously. If you do your internship very well, forget about the competitions. Just forget about them. If the industry is looking for the best hands, if you are the best hand, they will pick you. It doesn't really matter who, the number of people involved and so on. So that's one. So you, for instance, who is done with school already, so you might say the time for internship has passed, but then you can still develop skills. If you're a chemical engineer, there are a lot of things in chemical engineering there are softwares, there's HYSYS, a lot of softwares, Aspen HYSYS and so on, you know a lot of them. So just develop the skills on that, and when the application opens, usually they will just shortlist everyone if you have the meet up the minimum criteria, and then when you go for the interview, you display yourself. They will choose the best. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. So I see closely another presentation. We decided to prolong another presentation. These fresh graduates are on the side of it. One day, somebody will.
I would just love to add in places. It won't be out of place to add on some of the questions that a person was asking what was required from a graduate, what is really needed. So what I want to make you understand is sometimes there are nitty-gritty aspects that really matters. For instance, when you are invited for an interview and you enter the building, you should need to study where the muster point is and the building characteristics, like when a balustrade you are climbing and you say hold the stairs. There was an interview that candidates were invited to the last floor, and then on reaching there, they just played a CCTV camera, and the people that did not hold the handrails were just ejected, and that's the end of the screening process for them. So, and the whole thing is, when you come to the oil and gas industry, there is zero tolerance to complacency, because one injury is one too many, even if it's a triple or talkless of something that can lead to death. So understand concepts like goal zero. Each company you're applying know their core values, and I assure you, any one of them, there is this goal zero. There should be zero not to people, to the environment, and to the assets of that company that is used to produce. So in essence, it's a multi-dimensional look that you will have to put in understanding where you're applying, know their core values, and understand the business they are doing. Another person asked how to balance competence and business acumen and whatever. So in that aspect, I will portray the fact that engineers by training are people that are trained to actually know about something. Like you don't know it all, but that's why in 200 level you do mechanical, you do this, you do that. Is when you are having interdisciplinary interactions, you still speak in the languages that another engineer will not be a total layman and will not black out. So what it implies is you have to have a knowledge of something about everything. So in excellence in leadership, try to understand how the company you work in. If I work in an upstream company, I know that the last bus stop of the company is when the barrel of crude is produced and is exported. We are done. So it's a business. So what will now optimize production there? Okay, you should be looking at what we call playbooks. Each company has their playbooks. Playbooks is published at the beginning of the year, outlining the targets of the business and what it intends to achieve. All the civil engineering I do, for instance, I will look at how they contribute to that bottom line of the playbook, for instance. So you look at how you contribute, whatever you do, 1, 2, 3, every day of the week coming to the office, does it relate, does it speed that people contribute to the bottom line of the company? Does it increase the barrels of oil or the cubic feet of natural gas that is being produced by that of the domestic use for export? So all these things, they are kind of business acumen one should have at the back of their mind. As I calculate the loadings on the foundation, maybe a pipeline or an export line or anything, I'm thinking that this one will support so barrel being exported, and I know that we can contribute to the bottom line. So these are the kind of business thinking that we can contribute, and I think a lot of companies are so organized that they can have town halls and discuss the business and the performance of the business, and they will tell you how cash flow works in terms of OPEX and CAPEX and the projects and what have you. So from there you will have insight and have a business understanding of your own contributions to the business. There are a lot of these things that we've shared in the course of the conference with highly enlightened professionals. But these are just some key things I would love to really put in for potential graduates and things to look out for. And especially when another person talks about roles and hiring, it's not just getting into the energy industry or starting in NNPC or Shell or anyone. No, it's about actually getting started somewhere. There are experienced hires. Now, a lot of people will tell you that the cost and the time that they take to produce, to train graduates, they would rather just route them to EBs and go into the experienced routes. So if you have a second class offer, although you are not first class, it's still not a death sentence. You can proceed and pursue careers elsewhere while you are preparing for roles that will open an experience and you will meet them there and get into the industry that you want. Just have a good mindset and try to pursue your goals and aspirations with all sincerity and purpose and determination and power. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, the next on my agenda is panel discussion, and I will be introducing our panelists and our moderator for the panel discussion. So ladies and gentlemen, the topic of the panel discussion is finding and leveraging energy industry opportunities for young students and graduates. Our panelists, ladies and gentlemen, are Dr. Umar Ahmed. He is an associate professor in the Department of Chemical and Petroleum Engineering. Also, we have Engineer Ibrahim Kanu from Jubilee Energy. Engineer, sir. Thank you very much. And then also we have Engineer Ahmed Salim Zakaria
He is an engineer of civil structural engineering.